Hi, Eric Robichaud out of Moncton, New Brunswick, Canada. Eric the Bulldog Robichaud, as they call me. Got a couple thousand people in my Rippln. Been on since day one. Been looking at Rippln probably 3 or 4 weeks prior to actually getting an invite. I think about 5 weeks earlier. Anyway, this video is sort of guilt driven, I guess. Maybe they're going to kick me out of Rippln. I have no idea, but I have a lot of great people that sit under me. I'm not going to call out a whole lot of names. You guys know who you are. Things haven't rolled out as planned, and it's not that it's anything mischievous on the part of Rippln, but it's a new business, it's a new venture, it's a new ideology that came out, and there's going to be some, I guess, growing spurts and curves along the way, and I'm doing this video to give everybody the reasoning of why Rippln is sitting where it's at right now. Just because I owe an explanation to the people that believe in me and follow me, that have the same ideologies as I do, and we're a couple weeks behind. So this is I'm going to give you the story from day one. I own Jacker Imports, Jacker.ca, and I own Canadian.ca. Both companies are pretty successful. In my mind anyway. I make money at them. I'm a heavy duty mechanic. I do a lot of work in Fort McMurray, and I also work in Moncton, New Brunswick as a service advisor for the heavy duty trade for truck pros. And I'm a Microsoft certified systems engineer, which I took at SCTI in Edmonton, and I do my own websites and fix trucks and import products from China, Japan, and Korea, and resell to Shoppers Drug Marts to mom and pop stores. Anyway, I got brought on by Brian Curry and Ronnie Poirier. My initial person that I knew the best is Ronnie. Actually, I sold stuff to Ron at one time. So we became friends, and of course Ron is friends with Brian. I've met him on a couple other ventures through Ron. And my phone rings in January, and it's Ron. And I thought maybe he wanted more product. So anyway, Ron's an entrepreneur himself, and so is Brian. They both have small businesses, and they do a lot of other things on the side. I respect them both. They're both pretty honest. They run good businesses that are successful. They've been in a lot of things in the last 30 years. So they called me up and said, Eric, we need you to take a look at something. I said, okay. So I know I'm always talking about bringing other entrepreneurs on with my products and putting them in their establishments. You know, they have land businesses that they work every single day, and they make a good income. So I thought maybe they want to talk about importing some stuff from Japan. Anyway. So we end up meeting at Gene's Restaurant on Mountain Road in Moncton. It's about 11 o'clock in the morning on a Saturday. We all have our laptops, and I'm there a little bit early having a coffee, and the guys come in, and we're doing the handshake thing, long time no see, whichever. And I could see the look of excitement on their face, which was the first draw, because they're all about the money. It's the same as me. Not that I'm a multi-millionaire, because I'm not, right? But I generate good revenue in what I do every day for myself and for other people, right? And at the end of the day, that's our common bond that we had, is that we all are entrepreneurs that are always looking for the next best thing. So anyway, we're sitting down, and never heard of Rippln. Brian pulls out this piece of paper, and Ron's excited. He's in the background saying, "Oh, Eric, you have to see this. It's something that's never been done before, yada, yada, yada." And they have just a piece of paper like this, and Brian's scratching numbers down. He goes, "No," he goes, "Now think of this." He goes, "How much do you know about the internet?" I said, "Well, Brian, I do my own business, my own online businesses. I've been generating revenue since probably 1996 online, right back to the day of Paul Burke and the Free Store Club. One of the first eBayers. Anyway, he said, "What do you know about Facebook?" I said, "Well, Mark Zuckerberg's the owner. They just went IPO. I think they sit about $40 a share. They're worth $104 billion the last time I checked. Not billion, millions, but billions, 104 billion. He goes, okay. He goes, do you know how they generate revenue? I said, well, advertising. He goes, no. I said, oh, okay. Well, 50% anyway. He said, no. He said, maybe 20%. So, okay, there's, say, 25 billion. I said, where's the other, 85 billion? He said, it's something called eyeball acquisition. And, and I thought I was pretty savvy about the internet, and I think I still am more savvy than Brian is. But, of course, Brian had his teeth sort of dug into this thing already, right? He says it's sort of the net worth of a website caused by the amount of people that are registered or the amount of people that use it. And, of course, from day one, everybody's throwing at Rippln, applications and this and that, making things go viral. So he said, he says, imagine if you could take Facebook, if you had a chance to go back 7 years, would you invest? I said, like, who wouldn't? I'd sell everything I have and put it in and just go, right? Anybody that's touched Facebook in its early stages, the first 2 or 3 years on a monetary level, they're all either billionaires or in the high millions, whether it's the first application developers or the 7 guys that showed up at his dorm, and took the chance, they're never going to have to work again in their life. So everybody that's an entrepreneur that sort of links themselves online somewhere is always looking for the next Facebook. So that being said, he had my attention, right? He said, imagine if we could take a site and make it go as viral or get as many people on as Facebook has. That eyeball acquisition is going to be there. That's going to make the site worth something in itself. Now, if the site goes viral, imagine having a platform and throwing things on top of it like Angry Birds, 4 pictures, 1 word, Farmville, whichever. He said, do you know anything about Angry Birds? I said, yeah, my son plays it. I just got my son a Curio for Christmas, so a month has gone by. And I'll admit, I'm not a big gamer, and even when I took my Microsoft Engineering and SCTI, everybody was in the games except for me. I couldn't stand them. I thought they were non-productive, right? I was more business-minded. I wanted to take what I learned and put it towards applications and development and pushing product and just making websites, and 2000 platform for Microsoft, right? While all the other kids that were involved, they were gamers. They'd study and then go game for 8 hours. Game all weekend. I couldn't stand it. Anyway, I do admit, though, with Angry Birds, it's probably the first game that I've ever played more than 50, 60 times. Because my young fella's 5. He's like, Dad, can you install something for me? I said, sure. Of course, he's 5 years old at preschool. He's 5, and I swear on my kid's life, I don't know how he got to know the name Angry Birds or how he got involved, whether it was my wife or what it was, but he wanted me to install Angry Birds. I said, okay, and I'm thinking to myself, just another dumb game, right? So I put in the parental control bypass, go in, download Angry Birds, and he starts playing. Like an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours into it, I'm like, this is kind of odd. Let me see what you're doing, Zach, right? So I'm going through, and I start playing. Of course, he's getting to levels that he can't do anymore, and Dad has to save the day. So, of course, he's off to bed at 7:30. Dad's still playing Curio. 8:30, 9:30, 10:30, 11:30, 4 or 5 days in a row. Addictive, right? You get to a certain level, what happens? Bang, they cut you off. You got to spend $2.99 to unlock the next 100 stages. So, you know what? We beat everything. I spent the $2.99. First time ever, out of all the things that I do online, that I've ever spent a nickel on anything involving software online. I'm the guy that goes after the free trials and goes in and strokes out the registration keys and puts it back in again. I'll use the same software for a year before I go and purchase anything. Anyway, so he said Angry Birds. Back to Angry Birds. Brian saying to me, they just sold for $1.5 billion. I said, yeah, right. He said, no, seriously. So, of course, I got my laptop on cracking on there. $1.56 billion. by some Chinese technology company. Then he's talking about Pinterest. I go, Pinterest? I said, yeah, I think Heidi's on that, you know. They swap fudge recipes and, you know, natural ingredients to take out grass stains. And he says, no, it's huge. Millions of users, hundreds of millions of users. They're worth a couple billion. So I started doing my research, like right on the spot. And you know what? It's true. So anyway, at the end of the day, he said, we want to take this platform called Rippln, make it go viral, pass a bunch of stuff through it, and everybody's going to get a little bit of money back. I said, well, how's that going to happen? He said, listen, I'm going to tell you the way that it is. This is what it is. On April 12th, he says, I'm going to be in Dallas. They have made something going to be an invite only. And right now, I don't know a whole lot about it besides what I've just told you. There's going to be a certain percentage of everything that goes through this platform is going to go back to the people that push it out. I said, okay, so it's going to be an investor? He said, yes. And this is back in April. Remember, things have changed, okay? So I'm just being straight with you and telling you the story as it started from April 12th to now. Of course, this is back in January, 1st of February. He said, there's a bunch of professional marketers that have gotten involved with some developers, and they're going to take Rippln, make it go viral by all the people that they know, and then they're going to start throwing stuff through it, right? And all we got to do is catch one thing that goes viral, and everybody's going to start making money. He said, at the time, as far as I know, 55% is going to go to the corporation, or vice versa. He said 45 to the corporation and 55 to us. But either way, everybody that's involved is going to get a little piece of the pie. He said it's going to be the same as Facebook, except no IPO, no open shares. They're going to do an invite-only process, just like Pinterest initially did, just like Gmail initially did. So what's going to happen? I'm going to be in Dallas. I'm going to send you an invite. Now, I'm not really sure exactly how it's going to go, but that invite's going to give you a couple invites to invite people. And I'm thinking to myself, that's going to take a long time. But I said, you know what? Tell me how much. And he said, you know, this is the big key. Nothing right now. I said, nothing? He said, nothing. I said, well, how are we going to make money on it? And I was still confused, just like everybody else. So this is what happened. Like I said, I know the guy's pretty good. We've all been involved in a lot of different things. On a business level and on a personal level to make residual income or just a weekly income, monthly income. And I said, okay, let's do this. So we had a couple coffees and took off, and I was sort of excited, right? By the time I got home, he sent me a link to an NDA, which is that video, the non-disclosure agreement. I went through it. It explained the virility of a lot of different sites and how they made money, what they sold for, and how all these owners are worth billions of dollars, like hundreds of billions. And, well, the people that create the site going viral make nothing, right? So without the people, you know, these sites are worth zero, right? So I said, you know, this is an awesome ideology. You know, I'm not sure if it's going to work, but right now it's not costing anything. And they sort of told me over the table it could be $300 for, you know, like a domestic license, and $900 for a global license, and maybe the terminology was wrong at the time, I don't know. And it was sort of all up in the air, right? So April 12th rolls around. Waiting for an invite, didn't happen. So I'm on the phone with Ron. Have you talked with Brian? What's going on? So the next day rolls around, and, you know, Ron says, I finally get a hold of him. There's like 950 people in Dallas. You know, things got so busy, it went an extra day. It's going to happen today. Keep your eyes on your phone. And then all of a sudden, bang. I get an invite about 6 hours later. I log on. I said, hey, this is pretty cool. What's these 5 things in front of me? And I'm afraid to sort of click on stuff because I don't want to cancel things or, you know, ruin the invite code or something, right? Because I didn't really know. Everybody was sort of going by the seat of their pants. So anyway, I get the information. I start watching the couple videos. I think they had 2 2 videos, 3 videos there. I tried to click on them, nothing. They wouldn't unlock them until you had sent out 5 invites, which was pretty cool. So I sent out my 5 invites, bang, immediately. I get 5 people on probably in 10 minutes. And just via my excitement of saying this is what's going to happen. No numbers yet. There may be an investment, I don't know, but you're going to make an income off the things that come out. So anyway, in my head, this whole platform was based on applications running through it, and maybe products and services. Everybody's going to get a little bit back. And they have this thing called the Rippln Communicator, as I found out as time goes on. Oh, excuse me. So, now, this Rippln Communicator is the next best thing next to sliced bread when it comes to the communication world. You can text, you can, voice over IP, send a video message a minute and 30 seconds long to anybody in the world as long as they're involved with Rippln for free. It just takes data. So you can literally take your SIM card out. If you got Wi-Fi in your house, you could use your cell phone, call anybody you want. That's in the Rippln. What's cooler than that, right? Doesn't matter if you're in Canada and someone's in Korea. And I'm saying to myself, as a business owner that deals with people in Korea, Japan, China, Australia, India, this is going to be awesome. The guys that I deal with all the time, well, I'm going to give them an invite. So anyway, this is, a week's gone by. I've probably got, 60, 70 people under me. It's fresh right out of the gates, doing well. Now they say around May 15th, the Rippln Communicator is going to be out. So everybody's pushing it. The videos are all saying so. The videos are great. They're very, they're eye-catching. They're well written. There's a lot of promise. There's a compensation plan coming out. Even if you don't ever invest in this company, the people that just use it, they're going to get incentivized by points like a Rippln Air Miles or like a Rippln plan, collect points to get product. And plus people that throw money at the platform as investors at the time to buy, they called lifetime license fees, are always going to get a residual income. So things are rolling out. I think the first week we had about 80,000 people on board. And then the second week, 250,000 people. Third week, 400,000 people. Fifth week, 500,000. Sixth week, 650,000. Seventh and eighth week, 850,000. This is where we sit right now. From April 12th until, I'm going to say, well, today's June 12th, until May 31st. And they said between May 31st and June 5th, we're going to release something, which is the Rippln Communicator. It's all over the internet, what it's going to do. It's part of the dangling of the carrot to draw everybody on. And it's part of business, right? There's no, it wasn't a trick, right? And I'm being straight with you. There's, like I said, there's developers, network marketers that get together with a great idea to draw people in, to make it go viral, because that's the whole part of the plan. It doesn't matter if it's Facebook, Pinterest, or Rippln. It doesn't matter how they do it. The key is that they did it, right? Right now we're sitting about 900,000 people. We're about 100,000 people away from breaking the biggest records on earth about making websites go viral within a 2.5 month period. So that being said, if those numbers are being matched, if you're taking an educated guess, and if you're looking at Facebook, are we going to repeat the same thing? If Rippln comes through and does everything that they promise, of course they will. Because everybody's looking for the next big Facebook. And Facebook is sort of like this. When it comes to eyeball acquisition now, it's going like this. You know why? Because, excuse me, Mark Zuckerberg has built an HTML platform, not a mobile phone application. And you can go to the Google, you can go to YouTube, anywhere. And he said, the only mistake that I've made with this social graph platform that I have called Facebook is that I didn't make a mobile application. Because right now, the world is in a mobile application state. I don't know if there's 40 million applications on in the Apple Store. So I'm going to stop that right here for a second, okay? So let's pretend it's May 31st. It's not, it's June 12th, but let's say it's May 31st. The Rippln Communicator is about to be released. I'm going to back up a bit. Now, Brian Underwood had a story that he says in a lot of the conferences and the webinars and a couple of videos that really, really hit the spot for me. And it was this. I think he said he was in Central Park. And of course, I don't know if he's going down Fifth Avenue in Saks. I don't know what street he's on. But he's telling the story that he's going to either meet a client or he's going to a seminar. He's going somewhere in New York City. And if anybody that is business-minded that has ever advertised, I'm going to say the names like Pattison, CBS, all the big billboards, whether they're LED or the ones that flip on the highway like in California and Florida along the I-95. Those billboards can run anywhere from $20,000 a month to $1 million a month. It depends how big, where it's at. Eyeballs, right? People that watch it. If it's a main drag going down New York City or in Daytona Beach or Miami North, if it's a main drag that the traffic count is 300,000 people within a 4-hour period, it's going to be big dollars. If it's on the back 40 and some in the Bronx, $2,500 a month. It is what it is, right? The more people that see it, the more it's worth. Anyway, those signs have always been big business. It's made these communication, radio, and sign companies, which are all linked together now for some reason, big dollars, billions of dollars. He said he noticed something, and this was a couple years ago. He said he's walking down the street going to the seminar, and there's billions of dollars of revenue above his head. And when you watch David Letterman, you see them out there with the street cam, you see all those signs. Even though it's on TV, you're still watching them. You're saying, hey, that's pretty awesome. If you've been under them looking up, it's quite, it's hard not to look at them. But he said, something has changed, right? He's walking down the street, and of course he's texting somebody or whatever he's doing, and he realized something. There's billions of dollars of revenue over his head, and he's looking around. There's someone at a bus stop. There's someone at the red light. Someone sitting on a park bench. People walking next to him. They're looking at the signs, right? No, they're not. They're looking at the palm of their hand. You know why? Because their phone is in their hand. It doesn't matter if you're in a funeral home, you're in the drive-thru. He goes, and this is what I want you to do. This is how valid this is. I don't care what Underwood says or Bill Robinson. I like Lisa. I don't listen to what anybody else says. I see the world the way that I see it, and because I'm a normal person. And if I realize something that's going to be worth value, I just go with it. I don't care what these guys that do stock forecast, whatever. It's 50-50 right, 50-50 wrong. I go on my own intuition, and I've always been a pretty good judge of things that generate revenue. For me, anyway. And the big thing is, I want you to think, or tomorrow when after you're done watching this video, when you're driving your kid to daycare, or you're going to the office, or you're picking up your unemployment check, or whatever you're doing tomorrow, when you're in your vehicle, I want you to drive 20 minutes and not see somebody not looking at their phone. I want you to stand in the lineup at Subway or Starbucks and not see one person pull their phone out. I want you to go to a funeral home and a place of respect where they're not looking at their phone. I want you to go into a classroom where you're going to get kicked out for looking at your phone, where they get it under their desk. At work, they get a policy, no Facebook, no cell phone usage. What are they doing? As soon as the boss walks by, they're like, back on the desk. It doesn't matter where you are. The world is controlled by smartphones. And I'm not sure the reasoning. I know one thing with me. It's just linked to everything that makes you sociably accessible, is the best way that I can put it. I know with me, here's one phone, my other one's upstairs, whatever, right? I got whatever on my desk, a couple, it's one of these things. When I get up in the morning, I put my pants on after my shower and my shirt, I grab my phone, right? And by the way, I'm not a big Apple guy. Steve Jobs, rest in peace. Very smart man, but I don't like being trapped. I don't like being monopolized, so I like Android. That's me. I'm an Android guy. Anyway, that being said, if I go to work without my phone in the morning, I'll get to the first, I'm like, oh my God, my phone, half turn around. Like, I cannot go to work or do my services for the day without my phone. I know I was in a little story, I was in Fort McMurray. No, I was in Saskatoon, Saskatchewan. I was working for Prairie Crane. I was doing work for Mammut, the big crane company. And I had my phone in my pocket. And I bent over, and there's a gusset sort of thing. And I hit my phone, shattered it. My emails, my PDFs, all my schematics, everything was in here. And I found this East Indian guy on the main drag that would replace my face for $65. That was the longest 4 days of my life. Like, I always have this saying, without your smartphone, you're dumb. Because I'd be like, oh, I got to call this guy. I'm like, geez, what's that number? Even my wife's cell phone, I'm like, 860-063. Because you know what? I just press Heidi, or I press Mom and Dad, or I press The Office, or I press Payroll, whatever, right? Without my phone, I was lost. And you know what? I find myself to be a very normal person. So I think that's about 99% of the population. If you don't have your phone, you're sort of lost. That being said, backed up a little bit to where eyeball acquisition, everybody looking at their phones. I want you to really, really take an effort tomorrow, or just think how many people use their phone in a run of a day. And you're going to say, you know what, that Eric guy was right. It's just because I am, not because I know it all. I've done it every single day for the last 60 days. I'm just like, I can't believe how important these are, right? Anyway, that's that little story about Underwood. I don't know whether he's smart or not. I've never met the man. I've done webinars and stuff like that, but never shook hands with the guy. I will this August when I go to Dallas. But other than that, no idea. But he hit the nail right on the head. Smartphones are very, very important in life, right next to air, but so it seems. So, May 31st. It's really June 12th, but I'm thinking right now in this conversation we're at May 31st. Everybody's excited about the Rippln Communicator coming out. So this is what's happening right now. It's not coming out right now. I know a lot of people have pushed this forward because of the applications. There's going to be applications, there's going to be products, there's going to be services, and we are all hoping for the Rippln Communicator. It's going to come out, just not right now. Rippln as a corporation, and they have some developers that develop the platform. They assist with all the email issues, the invite code issues, and plus working on other applications that are going to be on top of this platform when it comes to e-commerce. Look, there's a lot involved. I know a lot of people go to same as Facebook. Facebook doesn't get enough credit. There's probably, I don't know, 300 to 500 people that work in Facebook's head office. There's a lot involved with it. And if you've ever done a website for yourself, imagine something that has 700 million people on it. Excuse me. So this is what's happening now. This is the part where Terry LaCour and Underwood and those guys, if they want to get together and boot me out, they can, right? And I'm just being straight with you. This is what's happening. From a very good source, I'm not going to say his name just because I'm trying to do the right thing here, okay? I have a lot of people that have put a lot of time in, and they're hoping for the Rippln Communicator to come out. And it is, but there's a delay because there's a little snafu, as they used to say back in the war days. Now, put yourself in this predicament. You have a business. And at this time, pre-launch, thinking to May 31st, you were saying, if we have 300,000 people on board, this is going to work. It may not be Facebook, but it's going to work. 300,000 people is a lot of people in 60 days. One of the cards that we have, one of the things that we're bringing to the plate is the Rippln Communicator. So we have to take the best software platform right now that's PTT, which is push to talk, and we need to get like a white copy. Like whether it's Vox or whatever, it doesn't matter what company it was. We need to take the best one, because I don't know what it is. I've never seen it. I've seen images of different phones that have it, because they've been playing with it, right? It's there, right? But now there's an issue, and this is the issue. And pre-hand, I'm going to tell everybody, if you're in Rippln, I want you to not lose faith, because these guys are all pointing in the right direction. Remember, these guys are networkers and developers. They're not, first and foremost, Donald Trump, like the Trumps, right? Or even myself. My ideologies are a little different. At the end of the day, it's all about a bunch of people getting together that want to make some money off something that Facebook should be doing right now to everybody else, but they're not, right? We want a little bit of the Facebook wealth through Rippln, through a big network that's built on people's social graphs, just like Facebook. It's the exact same thing. Take the blue out and put in the orange and a couple ripples, and there you go. It's the same deal. They have products and services to the side, advertisements, dropping stuff through the platform, except all the money goes to Mark Zuckerberg and his buddies that bought shares. Now it's going to go back to the people. Back to Rippln, the Communicator. And I want to say this so I'm not saying it wrong, so if I stumble a little bit, bear with me. The Communicator is a white version of the best working communication application on earth. So it's like taking this here. I'll use this for an example. Here's a Tim Hortons cup. Tastes great, one of the most successful franchises on earth. And I say, I wish I could have a Tim Hortons. Or it's like going to buy no-name ketchup, right? I want the same taste, but of course I can't brand it Tim Hortons. But I'm going to take the best of everything, cup size, lids, everything, strip it down, go to Tim Hortons, say, listen, I want to sell your bean, your coffee bean, and of course I can't use your name, and I'm going to call it Eric's Coffee. I'm going to call it Rippln Coffee. They say, okay. How many people are going to use it? 250, 300,000 people first year. Okay, we can do that. Yeah. So, what's it going to do? Well, it's going to do text, it's going to do a voice message, it's going to do push-to-talk technology, and use it through an HTTP, through a web platform, right, where I don't need voice over IP. I can send it through the web to another phone, and still have communication. That's it. Yeah, for now, right? Because there's only be 200,000 or 300,000 people. Then, okay, so remember, Rippln doesn't own this. They're sort of making an agreement to buy this application for a certain amount, or based on maybe a percentage of what it brings in, an agreement like to the people that invented it to have it on Rippln, which is cool. Nothing wrong with that. And they've got their own developers, but why recreate the wheel, right? Take the best of the best, use it, go with it, change the name, and add on to it. So now it's June 12th, right? Within the last 2 weeks, something has happened. Actually, the last 3 weeks. Instead of having 250, 300,000 people, we're going to hit 1 million. So now resources are a little different. And I'm not talking financial resources. I'm talking the resources of the application, right? Now they said, okay, well, you guys told us 300,000 people. So now that there's 1 million, it's going to be worth some money. We want some more dinero, right? We're going to have to do some upgrades. And the people at Rippln, just like me, you don't like giving your money away. Neither do I, especially being held for ransom. So this is what's happening. The developers and the founders of Rippln still have the Communicator, the original one. But they said, you know what? We don't want to be held ransom. We want to put the money back again, of course, to the people that made this site go viral. So this is what's happening. They're developing their own Communicator, where no one's ever going to say, you know what, you're up to 250 million people now, we want another $3 million a year to support this. It's like, you buy a hamburger combo from McDonald's for $9, or you can make your own for $3. What are you going to do as a business person, especially if you got to replicate the same thing over and over again? So I guess at the end of the day, this is what's happening. I put this video out, not to cause shit, because that's not what it's about. And there's like Chris Voss and all the guys in Visalis. They're all bagging this. We're still here. The platform's still there. They've changed the compensation plan because everybody was saying pyramid. You can call it what you want. It's only going to go so many ripples deep, and this is the truth. The guy at the very end, he can make more than the guy that started at the top. That's the beauty of this, because you can go sideways too, right? And that's on only one income stream. That's for things that are sort of purchased. Then there's applications, and there's going to be so many things involved in this. It's just going to be a big money pit for everybody. Instead of like it all going to Zuckerberg, we're going to share it. Maybe we're not going to become millionaires, but we're going to make money at this. The people that put effort forward, the people that keep adding people and bringing people in and explaining the concept of Rippln. I've never pushed a video yet, and I've got 3,000 people, right? Is because I take the excitement within me and the knowledge that I have and pass it on to the next person and hope that they're excited as I am about this whole concept. And anybody that has a business mind, or anybody that understands the internet, or if you've explained it properly, they're going to get on board, because it still, to this day, does not cost you anything, right? We're all doing the same thing. We're all pushing it in hopes that when the first application hits, we're all going to make money if you put money into it. And you know what? Even the people that just want to sit there, this part of the compensation plan has not changed. If you want to join Rippln and not do anything and just sit there, you're going to gain points. As long as you log on once a month, I think that's how the criteria is going to fall. If you log in once a month, you're going to gain points. You send a message, do this and that, buy, if you show somebody, say, hey, look at this. It's like Amazon, right? Look at this product, it's pretty cool. Or look at this service. Or hey, there's a conference in July. Did you see that? As long as you engage, as long as you click on something once a month, they're going to give you points that you can get, iPad Retinas or movie tickets or fuel cards, or maybe if there's a convention, maybe they're going to give a $400 entrance for free, right? And that's without spending a nickel, right? And God strike me dead, and let's put it this way. I've seen it. There's a lot of people out there that haven't seen any part of the conversation. I have seen it, right? That's what's going down so far. And the monetary side, it's pretty in depth. They've changed a lot of things. About 50% of the revenue generated within this platform is going to go back to the people like me and you and everybody else that's involved. That I guarantee you. There's a lot of different percentages. There's certain triggers that triggers bonus compensation plans. Because the harder you work, the more you're going to get. That is just, my friends, for all the guys that are going to bag me on this video, if you go to work and don't produce, you're going to be sitting at the same job forever. And it's the same as Rippln. And I may be lucky because I know a lot of people, or I know a lot about online. Maybe that's why I'm in the thousands. I'm going to make money. That plain Jane, I'm going to make cash. There's a lot of guys that are in my stream that I was very lucky to get in. Heather Hanley and Alicia and Chrissy Mather and Kara Robichaud and Johnny DeMatteo. I can name Paul Benoit, like even the guys above me, Corey Johnson, like Ronnie Poirier, Brian Curry, Bill Johnson. It's the people that put effort forward are always going to be the extra achievers, and nobody in this world, including Rippln, is going to give you anything for nothing. You know what I mean? If you don't do anything, you get nothing. If you put effort in, even as a non-monetary, you're going to get something. If you put effort in with your investment, you're going to make money. It's that simple, right? There's no promise you're going to be a millionaire. I'm going to shoot for being a millionaire. That's me. But like I said, the more effort you put in, the more you get out. It's that simple. There's a delay in the application, that's the Communicator, because they do not want to be have a carrot dangled in front of them every time there's an increase in people, right? They don't want to be stuck saying, the next 350,000 people or 350 licenses is going to cost you $1 million. Why not create your own boat, float your own boat? They just don't want to be held hostage. Like I said, this is not common knowledge for anybody. I don't know if Underwood's going to be pissed off with me. It doesn't really matter at this point. My team has put a lot of effort forward. We have thousands of people under us. Nothing has changed in the concept of Rippln. but it's not going to happen in June. It's going to happen July, right? Give or take. And I promise, as a team lead for my guys, and for anybody that joins with me, that every time from here on in, when I hear one piece of information, I'll release it to you. I don't care what Rippln says or what Lisa and those and Curtis say on the meetings. I'm going to tell you exactly the way that it is. My main job is to create virility within my team structure, and to help you become excited, to get your people excited, to make people realize what a great opportunity Rippln is, right? And there's going to be some flaws. No one said it's going to be perfect, right? Doesn't matter if you're Walmart, Facebook, McDonald's. There's always a McDonald's putting pizza out. It was a flaw, like it happens, right? There's going to be growing curves, right? There's going to be bumps in the roads. There's going to be some great feats, and then maybe it'll plateau. Then something else comes out, goes up again, and then plateaus. That is business, right? It's not a constant up. We can't all be apples. We can't all be Bill Gates, right? Even those guys, they have their stumbling. Anyway, that's why we're paused right now, sort of 8 or 10 days late. I know a lot of people are wondering what's going on. That is what's going on. There's nothing else, right? They're not afraid to put the compensation plan out. But now it's one of these things. People want to generate revenue. So what do? Do you just keep pushing for another 2 months? Or do you start putting stuff through the platform? So as far as I know right now, product and services are going to start going through the platform. The Rippln Communicator is being built by their own developers, so they don't get held for ransom. And that's where it sits. It's June 12th, 2013. Eric the Bulldog Robichaud in Moncton, New Brunswick, under Corey Johnson, Brian Curry, Ron Poirier, and Bill Johnson. And like I said, this video wasn't made to stir crap, right? It's and I hope Brian and those guys don't get upset with me. But it comes down to this. I'm a straight shooter. The people that I've involved that are my personal friends, whether they're working at a tire shop or they're worth millions, and I have both in my team. The best way to sell something is through honesty. So you know what? I'm selling myself through honesty. Anyway, Eric and Moncton, I hope this means a little bit to everybody that's watching it, and I want to thank you for your push. And August, Dallas is coming up, and hey, Johnny DeMatteo, he's my newest kid on the block. I know you came from, and I mean this with respect. He told me his family came from nothing, and he had times where their family had hard times putting food on the table. I'll tell you what, Johnny, in 5 days you've been on here, you produce more than anybody, and I personally will take you to Dallas with me, bud, just because I know you have what it takes. Anyway, to everybody else out there, you guys are doing a great job, and we're going to have to get together July and August this year, and triple our Ripple. Anyway.